Hi. How y'all doing? I'm alive, believe it or not. I mean, yeah, I'm alive. I wouldn't say I'm like thriving, but you know, we out here. So it's been a very long time since I filmed a video, since I've really even sat down to do makeup. I have just been feeling like the world is ending. Like, what's the point of doing anything? Just a great outlook to have. You know what? The other day, the other day was yesterday. I went to Sephora and I picked up a few things and I was just like, you know what? Let's just get into it because I just can't feel like the world is ending anymore. So here's my little Sephora bag with all my goodies. I'm gonna explain what I got and then I'm just gonna get into it. So I got a new brush that this is the number 26. It's the crease brush, but I'm not actually gonna use it for my crease. I'm gonna use it to do concealer. Another thing that I got was this 15% vitamin C and EGF, from the Inky List. I just needed a new vitamin C serum, and I also want to try this. This is the BHA, beta hydroxy acid serum from the Inky List. Actually, it's a toner, but yeah, from the Inky List. And I'm hoping that using these products like together, like I want to use this one in the morning and this one at night. I actually used this one today and it feels really nice. Will maybe do something for my skin. We'll see. And then I just re-upped on a small one of the Urban Decay All-Nighter. Yeah, and then I wanted to try out Miss Selena Gomez, Miss Rare Beauty, because there's been a lot of talk and a lot of this and a lot of that, so I wanted to try them out. I got the Always an Optimist Illuminating Primer and 2 of the blushes. I got 3 things because I didn't want to get everything from the line because one, that's really expensive and your girl doesn't have that much money because she's still unemployed. Yeah, that's another reason why I haven't done anything because it's fine. Anyway, but I did dip into a little bit of my savings just because I'm like, I need a little pick-me-up. I need something to change. But I got the Always an Optimist primer. So I tried to pick up like a couple things from the line that I thought I could use and like maybe were just missing or like I don't really quite have them in my own collection, or I just wanted to try. Like I didn't really want to get the foundation or the concealer because I already have foundations and concealers that I like, and I just felt like if I got another one it'd be kind of a waste. But I thought these colors I don't have in my collection, and I just was like, I want to try the primer as well. So I'm gonna do that. And the funny thing is like I picked up this primer and I didn't realize that it came in 2 sizes, but it does. This is the smaller size. And when I got it, I was like, this is the primer, and I like held it in my hand and I'm like, I have pretty small hands, but it looks bigger in everyone else's hands. I'm like, unless everyone else has like really small hands, then like, or like this comes in a different size, like I must be missing something. And sure enough, I double checked on the Sephora website and I got the small size, which I actually really like because if I don't like it as much, there's like less of the product that I have to use up. So yeah, let's get started with that. I did swatch some of this stuff after I got it, because if you don't know, whenever in the US, because no one can follow directions, we're still in lockdown, and if you go into Sephora you can't swatch anything. Not that I would really want to anyway, because again, you don't really know who's been touching, who hasn't washed their hands, because they can't follow directions. And so I was just like, okay. But yeah, so I swatched them once I got home, and I think people were like kind of not overly hyping it up, but I think they were kind of talking about the pearlescent and the shine in this product. Like, I think they were just kind of making it sound like, oh my god, like the pearlescent is so strong. Honestly, I feel like the MAC strobing cream has a more intense pearlescent, but it's really beautiful. It's really nice and it is illuminating, but it's not intense at all. It looks natural, which goes with the whole point of the brand. And then I'm taking my regular primer, which is the Top Secret, but from YSL. And I'm just going to put that right in the, sorry, I'm using the viewfinder as my mirror right now. But I'm just putting that in the center of my face because kind of like in the T-zone, because that's where I get the most oily. And there we go. That's that. All right. Next up, foundation. I'm taking the Healthy foundation, which is actually, I don't even know why I'm mentioning it because it's discontinued now. This is like the last time I will be really probably ever able to use this product again. But I needed a new one because I've been getting a little bit of a tan in the summer. When I was, you know, laying out in my backyard, or I would go to like the park with a friend of mine and we would sit out in the middle of the grass next to nobody. And it was nice. But now we can't even do that. I'll get into it later. But the reason I didn't get Selena's foundation is because I think that the formula of this one and the one from Selena is quite similar. Like, they're both really like natural foundations and really like your skin but better. Like, I love this foundation because it just looks like skin. It blends out like a dream. I love it. So I think maybe in the future when I run out of that one and then I won't be able to get it again because, like I said, it's being discontinued, then I can try Selena's brand. But for now, I'm just gonna use what I have. I'm also really impressed by the price points of her products. I guess I was kind of expecting them to just be like maybe a little bit more expensive than your average product, but actually I found, like, when I was looking at comparisons, like their price, like this was $14 for the little one, the full size, which, so this has 15 milliliters of product, so half of a fluid ounce, and then the full size, the larger size is $26 and you get 28 milliliters. So not quite double, and that's like $12 more. Honestly, it's nice. My foundation went on really nice over top of that. I like that a lot. But my point is, like, these blushes were $20 each. Like, they're very affordable-ish. Like, no, they're not necessarily drugstore prices, but I think that, like, for Sephora, they're quite affordable. Like, a lot of people have been comparing price points between Rare Beauty and Fenty, and some of the like, they're relatively similar. There's like kind of like a couple dollars difference here and there. And yeah, I'm just like really impressed with the price point. I thought it was going to be a bit more expensive, to be honest. I thought it was going to be more like maybe like a touch bit step down of like a prestige brand. Like, so a prestige brand would be like Chanel, Dior, things like Hourglass as well. I thought it was going to be like a little bit cheaper than that, but you know, for some things it's like quite significantly less expensive, and I really like that because I feel like it's a lot more accessible then, and then you could do what I did, which is like if you see a product that you like and you want to try it out, it's not going to break the bank to like try a couple things here and there from the brand. So I like it. Next, I'm just going to go in with a little bit of a color corrector for underneath my eyes. This whole like apocalypse thing is really getting to me. If you look between the two eyes, right in the center, near the tear duct is where I have a lot of darkness, and then I also have a tiny bit of darkness right on the outside of my eye. And I'm actually going to be making a video about complexion and how to like really know what products you need and what products you don't need and what products will work for you and what products like you don't really need at all and it's kind of like a waste. Because I think that, you know, watching influencers, like they might apply like a whole bunch of things, and you know, whether or not they actually need it can be a topic of discussion all on its own. But you know, a lot of the times they're like, yeah, now I'm going in with this and now I'm going with that, and you kind of like are led to believe that you need it, when that might not necessarily be the case, because every face is different and every face needs certain products, or not need, but can use certain products, and other faces like really don't have a need for other products. So it's all very individualistic. All right, now I can use my new fluffy brush and you guys can see, yeah, how it blends everything out like a dream. I saw, so I didn't want to, like, I did kind of want to watch a couple of videos about Rare Beauty because I wanted to get like a feel for it and see kind of what I would want for myself, but at the same time I also wanted to give my own opinion on the product and not get like too biased by what other people were saying. And I didn't want to get any of the tools because I was like, well, I don't know if I'd actually like them, if I'd actually use them. But then I saw Robert Welsh do his review. I just saw it like yesterday, right after I had gone to, like literally right after I had gone to Sephora, and he used the concealer brush. He was like, oh my god, this brush, it's so amazing. I was like, damn, I missed out. But it's fine. This is the one I wanted, this is the one I got, and it's doing a fine job all on its own. And I'm just going over everything to smooth everything out, kind of make it look cohesive with a sponge. Okay. Now I'm going to put a little bit of powder underneath my eyes just to keep it from creasing, because I have very, very creasy eyes. Because because I rub them like crazy, because I have really, really bad allergies. And y'all, I live in California, I live in the Bay Area. We are surrounded basically by fires right now. The air is toxic. If you're not from the Bay Area, I don't know if you saw the pictures that were coming out from Wednesday. Wednesday, let's see, what day was it? The 9th? The 10th? Wednesday the 9th of September. Holy cannoli, you guys. I literally, when I woke up, I was scared. I think that was everyone's reaction, was like, we were just scared because it looked so ominous. And at first, like, the blinds were down, so I couldn't even see outside. All I saw was just orange, an orange light. And so I immediately freaked out because I was like, oh my god, there's flames outside my window, even though I don't hear them. And then I opened the blinds, and it's just, it's the apocalypse. The sky is orange, like bright. I'm gonna put pictures up around me so you can see. It's orange. And oh my god, it was just the eeriest thing ever. And it was, like, you literally I can't explain it, because it literally felt like I had woken up and the world had ended. And now I'm like, what am I supposed to do now that it's here? Like, what, like, that's the thing I think, you know, they don't talk about in like apocalyptic movies, because I think in the apocalypse, like, okay, we have, like, there's like zombies or like something, we have to like get to shelter, and I'm like, okay, well, I survived because I'm alive, but like, what do I do? Like, do I just stay in my house? Like, what do I do? And it was really scary. So yeah, so I think before I go in with my powder, bronzer, and contour, I think I'm gonna go in with the blush. And completely back. And actually, this color, so I got the colors Love and Joy. Love is the matte formula, and Joy is the dewy one, and Joy is Selena's favorite color. It's like sold out online already, but they had it at one of the Sephoras near me, so I went to go pick it up. And this color, this one right here, that was the color of the sky on Wednesday. It's insane. But anyway, moving on. No big deal. We're just gonna move on from the apocalypse. But I was swatching these when I got them, and I did have something on the back of my hand, but when I swatched Joy, this one appeared to be more pigmented and it appeared to be patchier. But again, there was something on my hand, so I can't be sure if the patchiness was just from what was underneath. I think that might have been it. And then, which one was this? And then Love. Yeah. And then Love, which is the matte one, was not patchy, but it also wasn't as pigmented. So I'm not sure. I'm actually going to do a couple of swatches right now on my arm. Oh my gosh, can you guys see? Yeah. Let's do one dot of Joy. Super pigmented. Oh, it's not patchy. So it was whatever was underneath, but super duper pigmented, super beautiful. Almost the color of the sky on Wednesday, but not quite. Really nice. And then I'm taking Love. Ooh. Putting a dot of that one. And then let's blend that one out. Yeah, see, I don't know if it's picking up. Like, they're both very, very pigmented, and I'm not quite sure how good that's going to show on camera, but this one, and again, it might just be my skin. There's a lot of things that could be happening. It could also just be my skin tone, but this one just appears like not as bright and pigmented as In Your Face as Joy. So that's the one I'm going to use today. I'm going to match the sky. And no, it wasn't sunset. It was literally all day long. It was very scary, but it's it's fine. Just another great part of 2020. What can I say? I did see, what was it? I don't know if it was on Nikki's video or if it was on Vogue's video, but I did see the video where, oh gosh, now I look like I have a sunburn. That's nice. I did see the video where Selena was talking about one of the reasons why she made it so pigmented was because of her arthritis, I think. I think it was Vogue, where she's talking about how she wanted it to be very pigmented because she has like shaky hands now, and it's a lot easier for her to blend product when there's a little bit more pigment to it versus, that's too far down on my face, versus when products don't have as much pigment and then you're just stuck there building up all day, which I completely understand. It's kind of, it's a bit of a trade-off, right? Because now it's like, okay, I don't have to spend all day building it up, but now I do just spend a bunch of time blending it out and making it look like I'm not a clown. Maybe that's the look for 2020, is like, I'm a clown because this year it's just a joke. It's a joke. What is happening? I don't know. I feel like the blush, I do have some texture right here from, but it is kind of emphasizing that a little bit. But it ain't nothing we can't fix. I'm just gonna put a tiny bit more concealer, even though it's gonna get blended out with the bronzer. Just wait and see. Okay. Okay, easy fix. Now I have a very, very healthy flush going on. And I'm gonna move on to my bronzer. Making my face look a little bit more defined now that I'm definitely alive with the blush. But how have you guys been? Did you guys wake up to the apocalypse? Oh, you know what's funny? Actually, I was watching a Robert Welsh video. I watched them both. They're both amazing. But I was watching a Robert Welsh video where he's like, don't manipulate your face like that when you're putting on product, because, you know, that means that you're moving your face, but that's not how your face stays all the time. Not gonna stay like all day. And so when you unmanipulate your face, when you're sitting normally, like the product isn't gonna look quite the same. But I just find myself doing it anyway. It's like such a habit now. But I'm trying to not do it quite as much. The thing is like, it's kind of a good tip to do when you're just starting out, or when you're working on a face that perhaps you're not quite as familiar with, just to see like where their bone structure is. But so you could make them go like this, or even on yourself you can suck it in, but just to see, and then you undo it, and then you kind of put the product there. So it's not bad advice. It is advice that I don't quite follow myself when I should. Okay, now for my highlight, I'm actually going to use this Iconic London illuminating drops. I had heard so many people saying such good things about this, and I actually kind of disagree. I don't think that this is really, I don't know, I just think it's like there's too much glitter in it, versus everyone that I've heard talk about the Rare Beauty one say that it looks so stunning and so natural. Like you just look like you woke up with the most amazing dewy face. And I'm like, wow, that's what I want. That's what I would have liked to have had on my face. My brow routine has now just become so easy and no nonsense, and like just, it's so simple. So I have this guy. This is from Sephora collection, and this is in the color O2 Universal Deep, and I literally just kind of so messily kind of go through them like this. Yeah. The reason why I kind of go against the hair is because I want to get it kind of more on my skin, and also kind of coat the brows, and then I go through them again with my spoolie, and I make them lay more or less where I want them to be. And then I go in with this guy, which I'm mostly just using it. I could be done like this, but I mostly just use this because I want to use it up. This is my tiny little Benefit Gimme Brow gel. I have pretty full brows naturally, so I don't have to do too much to them, but maybe, I don't know, I feel like it's just not too much for me. It's just, I have it, so I'm going to use it type of thing. For my eyes, I don't think I'm going to do too much. Let's copy Selena and just kind of do a regular winged eye look. I didn't buy her liner though, but I do have this palette. This is the Kat Von D Lolita Por Vida, and I've been meaning to use it more. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the Lolita Por Vida color very kind of lightly and just put it along my lash line, and then bring it up into my crease very gently. And then I'm also taking the color Juanita, which is a cool tone brown, and blending that with it. And I'm going to blend this out a lot more, so it's not going to look very intense. So to anyone that blows on their brushes, just don't do that. Don't do that. Tap it off always. If you, I mean, it's like kind of, and I'm using the word kind of very, very generously here. It's kind of okay to do it on yourself. But if you are doing makeup on anyone else, and I don't care if it's your mama, I don't care if it's your best friend, I don't care if it's your biological twin, don't you dare blow on brushes. That is so not sanitary. It is so gross. We in the middle of a Rona. Okay, we're in the middle of the pandemic. No one's doing makeup on anyone else, really. I don't think. But just don't do it. Just don't do it. Because you're getting like your spit particles onto the brush and then putting that on someone's face near their eye, which is a mucous membrane, which can then in turn get them sick or their eye infected or anything like that. So just don't do it. Just don't do it. Yeah, that's probably gonna look a lot better. Oh, here we go. Hello. Good morning. There she is. Okay, I thought the blush looked really intense before, but now that I have the rest of my face on, it looks okay. It looks fine, actually. It's better than okay. Yeah. Okay. Now we're just gonna toss on a wing. So, I want to speak a little bit on mental health because, Rare Beauty has pledged that part of its proceeds, I think 1% of the proceeds every year, is going to go towards mental health with the goal of eventually $100 million going towards mental health, various mental health organizations. And I love that. I think that that's great. And I think that mental health is a topic that we don't really talk about publicly enough. So I just kind of want to talk about, I think right now, especially with everything that's been going on with the pandemic, with everything, literally, it feels like everything, right? It feels like it's not just one thing going wrong. It feels like it's everything going wrong. So I just kind of wanted to speak on my mental health, and maybe you'll want to talk about yours, and that's great, and we can talk about that. We can talk about it. No, but really. So, at the start of the pandemic, we were ordered to work from home. Our office was closed, even though they were very kind of begrudging to do that in the beginning. They were very much like, there's no need to worry. No one in our office has tested positive. And I'm like, you literally can't say that because no one in the office has been tested. This was before like testing was even made possible to the general public. This was like when you had to be sick on a hospital bed, and then they kind of had testing, but it was also kind of like an educated guess in the US. So that really pissed me off when they were like, no one's tested positive. And I'm like, literally no one's been tested. So you right now speaking to me could have the Rona and we would have no way of knowing. So that was really annoying. And then they eventually moved to working from home, and that was kind of honestly really great for me. Because I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I had like a pretty killer commute every single day to get to work. In the morning, I would have to drive an hour. And if I took public transportation, it would take me almost 2 hours to get to work. I would have to change trains like twice, and it would take me an hour and 45 minutes to get there, plus a little bit of a walk, so it was literally like 2 hours. And then by driving, I would be able to cut that to about 1 hour. So I would cut like 45 minutes off of my commute. And then on the way, it would often be, and it would be like an hour and a half every single time driving back from work. There was even one time where it took like 2.5 hours because there was an accident and traffic was especially bad that day. So yeah, needless to say that when they were like, you can finally work from home, I was very, very happy about it. Actually, there were people in my office before the pandemic had started that had been working from home occasionally or were fully remote. And when I asked if that could be a possibility for me, they kept saying things like, no, we can't do that. That's not in our company policy. We just don't have a policy for that, which I knew was a lie. So I was like, okay, why are you lying? But there's literally nothing I can do about it. So whatever. And I just had to keep commuting because I didn't have another choice. Then, when the pandemic started, and I was allowed to work from home, it was just nice, right? Because it was nice that I didn't have to get up at like 5:30 to 6 in the morning every single day, just so I could sit in a car for like an hour of my life, right? And then come back. And yes, I know that there are many people who do that every single day, but again, it's like if you don't have to, it's much better. And so it just felt nice. It felt like a nice like breather. I was able to not have to wake up so early. I was able to actually like kind of spend time with myself, and it was nice. It was refreshing, and I liked it. And so I felt like at the beginning of the pandemic, it was kind of a blessing in disguise. And that quickly changed when I got furloughed and then fired from Sephora because I wasn't a full-time, one, I wasn't a full-time worker, and two, from Sephora, and two, I didn't have, like, I wasn't a licensed makeup artist. And they were only keeping people who were full-time based on seniority and or people who were licensed makeup artists, because they're going to be starting a paid service to apply makeup, which is kind of funny if you ask me, considering that at Sephora before you could just go in and make an appointment and get your makeup applied for free, and now they're like going to be charging, I think it's like $90 to do what was at one point free to do. They kept saying like there's a demand in the market for it. People are asking for this paid service. So, you know, to each their own. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's not true, whatever. So that was hard because I went from having, like I said in another video, I went from having 2 jobs to effectively having none. And then just recently I found out that not only was I furloughed, but they had decided to completely make my position redundant and terminate my role in the company. So I got fired. And it was really kind of out of the blue. I mean, it wasn't, but I was also really just upset because on the phone, I don't think I can get too much into what was said. But basically, like, my director was like, oh, you know, like, we're a family here, like, I wish you all the best, blah, 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 and, like, you know, kind of saying what you would normally expect to be said, but it just felt so disingenuous because, like, I had been on furlough since April, and no one, not a single person, had reached out to me to ask me how I was doing, how I was getting on, if I was okay. Like, no one checked in on me. And so I'm like, okay, during a global pandemic in which I have now lost my job and we're a family, like, no one cares to check in on me or anything. So it just felt really disingenuous. It just kind of made me feel like, okay, now my job search is even more urgent than it was before. But it also felt like it feels really difficult because literally everyone is searching for a job. So many people have been fired. So many people have been let go. So many people have, you know, this, that, and the other. And it just, I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. And now we're all competing for the same, like, 100 jobs, you know? And if you're going through that, I genuinely wish you the best. And I don't know what the answer is. I don't know how to feel about that other than like, well, now I really have to get a job. Also, because I lost my job officially and I'm not on furlough anymore, now I don't have benefits. Like, I don't have, at the end of the month, my healthcare coverage will expire. So that's fun. You know, if I get sick during this pandemic, I'm not covered. I'm trying to figure out what to do with that. So that's going to be joyous, I'm sure. But it just, like, I think after everything, and I'm really lucky because you know, at the same time that all of that was happening, I had literally just received my stimulus check. You know, the one that everyone was getting like back in April and May. I had just received it I received it like a week ago. And it's crazy because I feel like, you know, I feel very lucky. I feel very fortunate that I am not one of those people who was relying on that check coming in. I live at home with my parents. This is my bedroom. I don't have to pay rent. I don't have to worry too much about paying certain things off at certain times. I feel very lucky. And I know that there are a lot of people who are in much more dire circumstances than myself. But it just still really sucks. I just want to be frank. It just still feels very like soul sucking and like, you know, I was talking about it with a friend because she has struggled with her mental health, and so she's been really kind and really good about checking in with me. And she's like, you know, how are you feeling? Are you doing okay? Like, how are things with you? And I really appreciate that. And I was talking about it with her the other day, and I'm like, you know, it really does sort of feel useless applying for jobs. Like, it just feels like no matter what, I'm not going to get it. Because I'm, you know, before, when you were probably competing with like 100 other people, like, it was probably like 1 in every 100 applications that you sent in, you were going to get a reply. And now it feels like it's 1 in like 300 or like 1 in 500. So it feels like even more, like, it just feels like even more out of my reach, I guess. And so that's really been difficult to deal with. But overall, I kind of just have come to the point where I'm like, I have to. Like, I can't just sit and be sad and be upset. Like, I have to do something, because otherwise it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for me. It's not going to be good in the long run. And like, as much as it feels like I'm not getting anywhere, if I don't apply, if I don't do stuff, then I'm definitely not getting anywhere. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I am right now, is like, I feel like what's the point, because nothing is happening, but also like I have to do something because doing nothing is just not really an option anymore. On that note, that's the end of this video. My thoughts on things. The primer. So far, I kind of hesitate on giving like first impressions, because I feel like realistically it's more about how they work throughout the day or throughout in the long run. But overall, this primer, I like it. It's not, I don't know how long it lasts or if it really increases the longevity of my face. That's something that I will definitely have to keep using to be aware of, but I like it so far. So far, so good with this. The blushes. I've only tried the matte one today, so I still have to try the dewy one. They are very pigmented, and I feel like the best way to apply it is, instead of just going directly onto your face with it, is actually going on the back of your hand and then going with a brush and then putting it on, because I feel like, one, it's not going to look as patchy, because where it almost, because of how pigmented these are on my skin tone, if you're darker complexion, it's probably going to be a different story. But the way that they work on my skin tone is kind of where it almost operates like a skin, like a stain, where it's kind of like where you initially put it, that's where you're going to get the most pigment, and then you're kind of stuck like blending out that initial like spot where you put it down, where you put down product. However, if you go in with it on the back of your hand or like on a palette or something and then put it on, you have a little bit more control over that. And that's kind of what I did to like add a little bit more color, because I felt like I had blended it all out, because I didn't have anything else on my face. And then once I put everything else on, I was like, oh, now I don't really look like I have that much blush. So I went back and I put a tiny bit more on, and definitely with it on the back of my hand, I had so much more control, and it wasn't like a, a struggle against blending out patchiness. So that's what I would recommend. But yeah, so thank you for watching. Thank you for sitting through me with everything. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, I just want the world to get better. So I'll see you guys later. Bye.